Good evening, everyone, and blessed be. This is your host, Aries Starwind, and welcome back to another episode of Witchcraft After Hours, where things are really about to get sultry and spicy around here, because guess what? It's Valentine's season. So if you're just trying to spice up your love life, or you're looking to entice that one special someone, this is the channel for you. How you doing, everybody? This is your host, like I said, Aries Starwind, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all have been having a great holiday season. I hope you're ready for this next holiday, which is Valentine's Day. And we got a great read tonight. This is Sex Magic: How to Cast Spells with Your Orgasm. So yeah. Let's go. So, since time immemorial, witches have been harnessing their sexual energy to do magic. We spoke to some modern day practitioners about their craft. This is an article by Sophie St. Thomas. Let's go. When people ask Kristen Corvette how she landed her first book deal, she normally responds with a predictable platitude. She achieved her dream through a combination of hard work and luck. In private, however, she attributes her success to masturbation under the full moon. Corvette, the addictrix of Sluttist and a professor of the New Schools class, The Legacy of the Witch, is a practitioner of sex magic, using sexual energy, often orgasm, for a manifestation. It happened to be a full moon on the evening I submitted my proposal, so I engaged in my usual practice, which consists of listening to my favorite erotically charged music, which is always glam metal, Motley Crue mostly, lighting a candle that has been carved to symbolize my goal, and unsheathing my crystal dildo to consummate the spell. And exactly 1 month later, on the full moon, I received word that I was in, she says. Given the preponderance of love spells and evil yet seductive witches in pop culture, it's understandable that sex magic is so often misunderstood. But according to those who practice the erotic craft, it's just another form of magical manifestation. You have an intention, and you're using orgasms or sex as a tool to achieve that particular intention, explains Kat Cabral, a Wiccan priestess who managed the East Village occult shop, Enchantments, for more than a decade. Brie Luna, owner of The Hood Witch, agrees with this characterization. We're not talking about how to be sexy or how to enhance libido. We're getting down to manifestating. Talking about harnessing sexual energy to make very real results, she says. Sexual energy is just energy. It's neutral. Neutral, maybe, but extremely powerful nonetheless. With sex magic, all you need is to reach orgasm and you can change your world, writes Damon Brand in Adventures in Sex Magic. The history of sex magic as a whole is as expansive as it is elusive, and it's often difficult to obtain records about it. According to Sex and the Supernatural by Benjamin Walker, sex magic and erotic mysticism were practiced earliest in Central Asia. The citizens of one area in particular, known as Ugurian, a semi-mythical kingdom that fought for the rights of Tibetan people, and are said to have used rites involving Tantra, the buildup and avoidance of increased power of sexual energy and orgasm. It was a place of some notoriety, according to the Hundi Chronicles, where intercourse was regarded as not only procreative, but for the acquisition of magical power, writes Walker. Sex magic through Tantra dates back to the middle of the first millennium. Though the diversity of tantric practices has made it difficult to pinpoint the precise origin, the first record of Tantra is likely the Saiva Mantramarga tradition during the 5th century. Today, Tantra often taken on associations with New Age sex workshops and sting, But it's also about harnessing power and even achieving enlightenment, according to Essence of Vajrayana. Vajrayana, the highest yoga tantra practice of Haruka Bodhimandala by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso. Unfortunately, many early tantric texts were destroyed by crusaders. The Gnostics, a collection of ancient religion and sects found in the range of regions from the Middle East to China, also performed sex magic rituals such as blood rituals and mantras to invoke sexual energy. The most notorious sex magic practitioner in recent history is Aleister Crowley, a famous 19th century British occultist who viewed sex as the supreme magical power. A high-ranking member of the secret society Ordo Templi Orientis, which uses sex rituals heavily in its initiation ceremonies, he went on to write several books on the use of erotic magic. His views were extreme, as was his desire to experiment with new forms of sex magic. In Sex in the Supernatural, Walker writes, in seeking and enlarge his tantric-oriented experiences, Crowley advertised for females of all kinds, deformed women, dwarves, hunchbacks, and as he put it in his characteristically unfeeling way, freaks of all sorts. Contemporary witches dismiss much of his work. It veered on the more racist and sexist and just really weird, says Luna. I feel that a lot of his work, for what it was very self-serving and low vibrational, very demonic in a sense where you're working with things that if you have no idea what the hell you're doing, you can fuck yourself up. I've never felt compelled to go any further with studying him. Modern sex magic users have a myriad of historical, cultural practices to draw inspiration from, and many of them emphasize the importance of finding what works best for you. In ways, sex magic is similar to any other forms of energy work, which harnesses energy, which is the practitioner often tapping into their own spiritual energy to heal. The only difference is that the energy being harnessed in this case is the release of orgasm. The first step is to have a clear goal and an intention of what you want, says Luna. I find for me that sex magic works best when your intention has to do with sex, love, confidence, power, or strength. Other techniques involve repeating mantras during orgasm, focusing on sigils, a magical symbol to help focus your energy, and invoking certain deities. Hathor, Isis, and Aphrodite are common goddess to invoke. But you can use whatever deity appeals most to you, since sex magic is so personalized and intentional. I think everyone needs to find a deity or mythology or archetypes that relate to them. So for some people, that's saying within their own heritage or culture, says Cabral. Personally, I love working with Venus or Aphrodite. Intuition, she adds, is the most important thing. Indeed, most witches will say that sex magic is one of the most intuitive practices. I came to sex magic pretty intuitively, recalls Corvette. As a young girl, my mother taught me the power of manifestation, but in a G-rated way, of course. Somehow, I made the connection between that and all the self-pleasure I was engaging in, and realized it could be used in a more powerful and productive way. Another, perhaps less intuitive component of sex magic involves the use of bodily fluids. An early example of this Abbé Guibargue, a French Roman Catholic occultist known as the Renegade Priest, who in 1683 performed a Black Mass, a corruption of the traditional Catholic ceremony. Such ceremonies involve the nun figure urinating into a chalice, often as a demonstration of opposition to strict Catholic beliefs. Period blood is another useful liquid in sex magic, and according to Luna, there's a long folkloric history of women putting period blood into coffee or tea or red pasta sauce because it is easy to hide. This is often for binding spells to cause sexual attraction, as in the hoodoo tradition. Some practitioners also do spells with a concoction of semen mixed with period blood, which is considered very powerful. The mixture, typically obtained and placed in a chalice, are swapped through kissing after oral sex in a ritual believed to seal the magical performed or create whatever manifestation the practitioner desires. Again, sex magic goals don't have to be about sex, according to Brand. Blood is life, especially menstrual blood. It nourishes life. You grow humans, says Luna, adding that you can use bodily fluids to dress candles and talismans, meaning coating a candle, often carved with a sigil, with a substance whose properties are believed to help one achieve their goal. If you are going to work with bodily fluids, please be aware of the health risks. Feeding and eating bodily fluids carries the same danger as oral sex, so get tested, discuss it with your partners beforehand, and become educated on dangers. You're playing with someone's will and health. You can transmit diseases and all kinds of icky things, cautions Luna. In general, when practicing with a partner, communication is very important. Luna says that you should either work together completely or keep your partner entirely in the dark about the fact that you're manifesting magic during intercourse. Either they know what you're doing or they shouldn't know at all, because any person who kind of knows and isn't really into it, they can fuck up the whole flow of energy, she explains. So either keep them ignorant altogether, or they know and they are going to focus on that energy as well, so it makes that much more powerful if you are going to come together. Even those uninterested or skeptical of practices such as magic can attest to the intimacy and intensity of coming at the same time. With a partner, it becomes really cool and exciting when you can trust someone and the both of you can work together. You know, staring at each other in the eyes, maybe slowing down an orgasm, breathing together, says Cabral. For many practitioners, though, the fact that sex magic can be practiced alone is one of the main draws. Although I've experimented with partnered sex magic, I find the solo spells have worked better for me thus far, says Corvette. In a world that's traditionally punished women for freely enjoying both sex and magic, combining the two can feel revolutionary, and taking matters into one's own hands only heightens that sense. Witchcraft in and of itself is very empowering for women, and know that all your power is just innately within yourself, says Luna. One of the most powerful aspects of any woman can have One of the most powerful aspects of any woman can have is owning her own sexuality and not being afraid of that power and not being afraid to use that power. Wow, man. Okay, that was an intense, powerful article. Okay, that was a great read. Oh my goodness. One thing I will say though, I thought it was gonna have more on because the name of the article is Sex Magic, How to Cast Spells with Your Orgasms. I thought it would have more on using your orgasm to actually cast spells, which it didn't, but I understand what the article was about. It was more focusing on sex magic itself and the power of the orgasm. Which I understand, but anyway, that was a great read. Oh man! Again, this is by Sophie St. Thomas. If you guys want to read this article yourself, you can always go to vice.com. That's vice.com. Very popular website for a lot of avant-garde type of articles about things they may be hard for other people to read about, but they're pretty easy for us Wiccans, of course. This is rated G, like I always say. And that was a great article. It feels so great to be back, everybody. I know I was gone for a little bit, but I did a social media disconnect for 2 months. just to kind of like refresh my brain and kind of clear everything out. And it definitely helped me because, I was getting mixed up with the whole political situation here in America. And now I feel much better. I feel much more free now that I've freed my mind. And I am so happy to be back with my small community so far. It's a young channel, and I hope it really grows, and I hope you all who are here are enjoying it. So there you go. That was our article for today. Again, that was called Sex Magic: How to Cast Spells with Your Orgasm by Sophie St. Thomas. And I hope you all enjoyed the show, and can't wait to see you all later. So Goddess bless, blessed be. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.